really, according to your book, it's all in our own hands.
Well, it is. Research has found that only 10% of our happiness has anything to do with our life circumstances. So that means that we've got control over 90% of it, if we know how. But the thing is, Rob, a lot of people don't know how. Because the happiness is actually a learned skill. And if your parents didn't know how to be happy, how could they possibly teach you?
It's an interesting angle, because I guess we do learn from our surroundings.
We do. I mean, how to be happy is a skill I didn't even learn till my 30s. So I was a bit late in life, really, because my parents didn't know how. And luckily, as you know, I'm in the business of helping people to be happier, healthier and more successful. And so a lot of the things that I've learned over the years, because there's no magic wand, there's no one thing that'll make you happy, unfortunately. But there are a lot of different things that if you do or don't do, you'll be happier. It's the same with success. So many books have been written about success. There are certain things that successful people do. And the idea is you emulate them and you too will be successful. Same with happiness. There are certain things happy people do and don't do.
And it goes the same thing for health and well-being?
Absolutely. There's a common denominator between your happiness, your health and your success. And the common denominator is your thoughts, your beliefs and your emotions. If you change those, you can change everything.
Now, I want to get into a bit, because a lot of people think this is sort of smoke and mirror stuff. And if you told me, for example, that I could get over my vertigo, you would laugh at me, wouldn't you? You just did.
Yes, well, I'm in the know on that one.
Because, you did actually get rid of my vertigo.
In 1 hour?
It was an hour.
Yes. And you'd had it for how many years?
67.
Right. And the reason that I could be so successful with what I'm doing is a form of energy psychology I use called EFT. Stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. And energy psychology, just so listeners understand, is a term given to anything that uses both psychology, we all know what that is, and energy medicine in the same treatment, like working with the body's electrical energy system. And because just talking about something doesn't change it. But when we actually use a therapy that will actually change things down at the subconscious level, then we can really get changes. Because
for 67 years, I had been telling myself that I shouldn't be standing on tiptoes.
And did that work?
Well, it did actually. It meant that I wouldn't climb onto a chair and change a light bulb.
Yeah.
And that's an absolute fear, but that's one-way traffic going into my head.
And people just saying, well, get over it. That didn't work, right? Whereas this form of energy psychology I use, known as EFT, really works to change those subconscious programming, because you're afraid of something and it's the body's alarm systems going off and going, danger, danger, when really there's no danger. So we've got to find a way of turning that alarm signal off.
And I had to be able to be ready for that?
Yes, I have one rule with my clients. I will not accept someone who's been sent. If you send a child or a partner and go, I need you to go and see Karen, I'm not interested, because you have to have the buy-in to want to work on yourself. Working on ourselves is actually the hardest job of all, and you've got to be ready.
Yeah, in your book, you're actually talking all the way through about happiness, and you're saying that happy people can say no, for example.
That's something that is a skill, a part of the skill that we learn to be happy. A lot of people, I find, in fact, I'd say probably about 80% of my clients have two personality traits: inability to say no and inability to put themselves first. The nicest people have the biggest problems because they're not living their own lives. So learning to say no is a vital element of happiness.
So we as New Zealanders do not normally lift our heads up because of tall poppy.
Yeah, we think that we've got to play small. And happy people, they don't have to squash themselves down and play small. They're happy to be who they are regardless of what others might think. And that's a big deal. Most of us have belief systems that we have to please someone else or not rock the boat. And so I help people to change their belief system so they can be truly themselves, because it's only when we're truly ourselves that we can be truly happy.
But you're fighting that instinct of New Zealanders to say, oh no, he's full of himself, he's whatever he might be, because he's holding himself erect.
Our whole culture is around pulling people down. It needs to change.
Where do we get a book?
My website, setfree.co.nz. I'll post one out to you. And the ebook is available on Amazon and also my website. And within the next couple of months, the hard copy will be on Amazon for those overseas. But right now, off my website.
Because it's a very good read. I mean, it basically turned me around.
I'm so pleased. Thank you for sharing that.
No, seriously, it really is. So you're based in Christchurch?
Yes, I am. And but I see people all over the world via Skype. So distance is no barrier. It's amazing the places that I work with people from.
Thank you very much indeed.